many cases that may make sense, but in most cases it won't. And my concern would be the cases where it won't. Wherein we have to be very careful with our legacy systems. Well, some of the announcements were a little concerning to me. AWS Transform, Agentic modernization of legacy systems. I heard this a bunch where they're talking about technical debt and they're talking about the legacy systems that are out there and the fact no one likes these systems and we're trying to upgrade them and modernize them as quickly as possible. So they're offering a service called AWS Transform, which is agentic modernization of legacy applications. So the ability to kind of take an application and turn it into a swarm of agents, I'm assuming, or some sort of a way to modernize this existing system. In many cases that may make sense, but in most cases it won't. And my concern would be the cases where it won't. Wherein we have to be very careful with our legacy systems. We have a tendency to undervalue them, almost use them as a punchline in jokes. And the reality is they're very important systems that run many very important applications within enterprises out there, more than you think. And I think that just taking these plug and play modernization approaches where we're trying to create up, agent factories and things like that here and all these buzzwords again, we're just going to end up making mistakes because we're trying to move these things at scale and we're going to end up making bad decisions at scale. And we're going to have to undo these bad decisions at some particular time. So in many cases, people are promoting them as something that's going to be able to reduce some of the technical debt that's out there. And they're actually going to be creating more technical debt. And we saw this within cloud computing. Many people moved applications using lift and shift, application migration factories and moving them into the cloud, and then ended up with very inefficient applications that were running in the cloud that were, basically sucking twice as much money, out of these organizations as they thought they were going to be. They figured that they were going to be, cost optimized, and we're going to get a better deal out of the cloud because we're using shared infrastructure, things like that. In many cases, not all, that turned out not to be the case. And I think we're going to see the same thing here. So when I see factories and modernization, let's get to it quickly, things like that, migrate first and we'll ask questions later. That's something that's concerning to me because I see the majority of the time people making huge mistakes that they have to fix later, or somebody like myself has to come along and fix later.